Last Sunday, an overnight storm took out power to the church, and the service was rescheduled for this Sunday. So, take 2.
Good morning, all. The Jocelyn Gray Avatar is back with your Sunday morning announcements. If you're with us on Facebook or YouTube, please subscribe to get notifications when we have new videos. If you're with us on Zoom, drop us a hi in the chat. We'd love to say hello back. If you're with us in person, hello everybody here. And if this is your first visit, please sign the guest book either in the lobby or online at oakcliffuu.org/guest. A reminder, every Sunday morning at 9:30, one of our board members is available to answer your questions about the church. We hope you take advantage of this opportunity, either in person or online via Zoom. Today, Sarah Ricke returns with the Flower Communion and Beltane to bloom in abundance. We hope you can stick around after the service today for Talkback, where we gather in a circle and discuss the service and related topics. For those online, see the Zoom chat at the end of the service for the meeting information. If you missed our Earth Day service at Lake Cliff Park, the video is posted on our website, our YouTube channel, and on Facebook. Sarah's message explored the UU resolve to respect the interdependence of all existence. And we have been invited to do it again next year! Special thanks to Sarah and Kate for words and music, and to Scott and yours truly for tech support. And a big thanks to everyone who helped with our booth. We couldn't have done it without you. After the service today, there will be a worship ministry meeting at 12:30 in Charity North and on Zoom. Anyone who is willing to help us plan worship services or wants to see what goes into planning them is encouraged to attend. Today, our board meets in Charity North and on Zoom. This meeting is open to all. On Thursday, the Social Justice Ministry Reading Group will be meeting online at 7:30 p.m. to continue discussing The Sum of Us, What Racism Costs Everyone and How We Can Prosper Together by Heather McGee. Questions? Email Mavis at sjm@oakcliffuu.org. Next Sunday, it's the second Sunday Jazz Jam in the sanctuary from 3 to 5 p.m. Come play, sing, or just listen. You are welcome to bring food and drink for yourself or to share. Admission is free, but there is a tip jar for the musicians.
It's the Kathy Gray Avatar with some important dates. No, that's not right. Some important dates. Mark your calendar for May 19th. That's the date of the annual spring parish meeting. We will be electing officers for the upcoming fiscal year and voting on the budget. Speaking of the church budget, if you haven't yet, please fill out your 2024 pledge form. Just go to oakcliffuu.org/pledge2024. And members who turn in their 2024 pledge form by May 10th will be entered into a drawing for a signed 8x10 Gaia print. Pledges need to be updated annually, so make your pledge now and be entered to win this beautiful piece of art by Sarah Ricke. Already pledged? Great, you're already entered. As we say every week, it's all in the e-blast. Not receiving the e-blast? Just sign up at oakcliffuu.org/e-news. It's that easy. Have you signed up but aren't getting the e-blast? As the AV/IT guy, Scott, my dad, says, don't forget to check your spam folder. And make sure that news@oakcliffuu.org is in your contacts. One more thing. We have member anniversaries to celebrate. Barbara Fudge joined UUCOC on April 24th, 2013. And Kat and Mike Lester joined on April 9th, 2016. Yay! Kathy Gray Avatar here again. Jocelyn, wait! Don't forget that we have another member anniversary to recognize today. On this day, May 5th, 2019, it's you, Jocelyn Gray! How awesome is that? That's it for now.
Take care, everyone.
Hope you all have a great week. Good morning.
Good morning.
Let us light our chalice and begin our sacred work with this prayer from Reverend Linda Susan Ulrich, a minister, writer, musician, and activist dedicated to radical inclusion, deep collaboration, and courageous kindness. Inescapable love, help us find opportunities for joy wherever they appear. Remind us of spring's heady perfumes, exuberant colors, and the warmth of sun on our skin. When the road seems endless, reconnect us to the deeper essentials of our lives so that we may be sustained. Amen, and blessed be. Our opening words, For the Flowers Have the Gift of Language, by Richard S. Gilbert. Speak, flowers, speak. Why do you say nothing? The flowers have the gift of language. In the meadow, they speak of freedom, creating patterns wild and free as no gardener could match. In the forest, they nestle, snug carpets under the roof of leaf and branch, making a rug of such softness. At end tip of branches, they cling briefly before bursting into fruit sweet to taste. Flowers, can you not speak joy to our sadness and hope to our fear? Can you not say how it is with you that you color the darkest corner? The flowers have the gift of language. At the occasion of birth, they are buds before bursting. At the ceremony of love, they unite two lovers in beauty. At the occasion of death, they remind us how lovely is life. Oh, would you had that voice, silent messengers of hope. Would that you could tell us how you feel, arrayed in such beauty. The flowers have the gift of language. In the dark depths of a death camp, they speak the light of life. In the face of cruelty, they speak of courage. In the experience of ugliness, they bespeak the persistence of beauty. Speak, messengers, speak, for we would hear your message. Speak, messengers, speak, for we need to hear what you would say. For the flowers have the gift of language. They transport the human voice on winds of beauty. They lift the melody of song to our ears. They paint through the eyes and hand of the artist. Their fragrance binds us to sweet-smelling earth. May the blessing of the flowers be upon you. May their beauty beacon to you each morning, and their loveliness lure you each day, and their tenderness caress you each night. May their delicate petals make you gentle, and their eyes make you awake. May their stems make you sturdy, and their reaching make you care. At this point, we share our joys and sorrows. In our community, we make time each week to share what is in our hearts and on our minds. If your heart is heavy today, know that you don't have to carry that heartache alone. Together, we can offer comfort. Please share your sorrows publicly by posting them in the Zoom chat, or send them to our Facebook Messenger, or speak them aloud. We also share our joys with one another, knowing that joy calls unto joy amplified. Together, our voices can rise in a chorus of celebration. Please share your joys publicly by posting them to the Zoom chat, or send them to our Facebook Messenger, or speak them aloud. Welcome to the UU Church of Oak Cliff. Here, we seek to build a community where what you believe is less important than how your beliefs guide and inform your participation in the world. Ours is a community that strives to value the inherent worth and dignity of every human being. To our returning visitors, we're so happy you've joined us again. We know your time is precious, and we're honored to have you here today. We'd also like to extend a warm welcome to anyone joining us for the first time. We recognize the bravery it takes to come into a new place, and we're glad you're here. Ours is a covenantal church. Latin for come together. Covenant means a solemn agreement or promise from the heart regarding a course of action between parties. The practice of promising to walk together is the core of our faith. Simply put, it's a guide for the behavior we expect from ourselves and from each other. We are bound together by the promises we make to one another, and we recite our covenant during every worship service. Please stand in body or spirit. Because we love one another, we honor each individual's spiritual journey. We celebrate life's abundance in service to each other, our community, and the world. We connect with each other in love, respect, and acceptance. Thus, we do covenant together.
Porque nos amamos uno al otro, honoramos el viaje espiritual de cada individuo. Celebramos la abundancia de la vida en el servicio entre sí, nuestra comunidad y el mundo. Ponemos en contacto a unos con otros en el amor, respeto y acepción, así que hacemos pacto. Thank you.
And please welcome Sarah for a responsive reading.
Good morning. So before I do my sermon today, I figured I'd make you guys do a little bit of work. It's so hard. You have one whole line and all you got to do is repeat it. But this is a flower communion blessing, and I hope you will join me. Each of us is a flower with a delicate beauty uniquely our own. We may be like sunflowers, turning always towards the light. May we be like the night-blooming ceros, only displaying our fragrant petals when it is dark and we think no one can see. May we be hothouse flowers, far from our native lands, cautiously tended within a harsh and unfamiliar climate. May we be gray-headed like dandelions, eager to launch the new generation with the first strong gust of wind, past our own bright youth, but ready to pass our wisdom on in precious gossamer-carried seeds. Some of us, sometimes, spring up overnight and fade in the hot glare. Some of us, sometimes, are roses, slowly assembling petal after tightly wrapped petal and revealing our full glory only when everything is in place. Sometimes we are roadside weeds, loveliness bursting improbably from the dust and debris. May we offer our beauty with the simplicity of flowers, expecting no recognition, hoping for nothing, giving out of what we are and knowing it is enough. Blessed be.
Isis, Astarte, Diana, Hecate, Demeter, Kali, Inanna. 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 Isis, Astarte, Diana, Hecate, Demeter, Kali, Inanna.
And I'm back. My love gave me a passion flower. I nursed it well, so brief its hour. My eyelids ache, my throat is dry. He told me that it would not die. My love and I are one, and yet full oft my cheeks with tears are wet. So sweet the night is and the bower. My love gave me a passion flower. So sweet, hold fast my hands, can God make all this joy revert to sod, and leave to me but this for dower. My love gave me a passion flower. So good morning again, and welcome as always. It's lovely to see you here this morning. The poem I just read is The Passion Flower. It's written by Margaret Fuller, and she was a Unitarian writer and feminist activist in the early 19th century. Margaret Fuller was a transcendentalist, one of the first women involved with the movement, and key to having the blossoming philosophical movement, as it was at the time, opened to other women like herself. Transcendentalism was very focused on individuality, not individualism, individuality. Believing that only when people take time away from the mundanity of society will they discover their true selves. Transcendentalists also believed in universalism, and many of them were Unitarians at the time. and that they believed that people were incarnations of the wider divinity, and that those who had found and embraced their true selves would be able to form a natural, loving community, just as we hope to today. This morning is quite special, as it is our annual flower communion. It was supposed to be last week, but Mother Nature decided she had other plans. So I did have a full extra week just to revise this for you. It didn't change too much. I just added more floral symbolism, lots of flowers. The flower communion is, in my opinion, one of the most important Unitarian Universalist traditions there is. And a large part of that is because the flower communion is unique and original to our faith. Unitarian Universalists, we're a diverse bunch, as you well know. We come from all sorts of different faith traditions, having left them for all sorts of different reasons. But we come together with shared hopes, shared principles, and a shared conviction, a soul-deep devotion that I've found and seen over and over for love and for loving others. Like Margaret Fuller and her fellow transcendentalists, we are people who pulled back from the communities we were born into. We took the time to find out who we are and what path we belonged on, and maybe we're still searching. But that was a choice that we made. We chose to discover ourselves as part of the divine, and we chose to recognize our fellow human beings as part of that divine as well. We are all unique, and we have all chosen consciously to approach our differences with love. You believe primarily in love. We believe in loving others, and especially in loving everyone. As I said before, we come from diverse backgrounds, we have diverse beliefs, and we love and embrace and encourage that diversity in the most loving community we can create. It's not perfect, nothing is, but it was built hand in hand, by hand, with a painstaking commitment to love as best we are able. The flower communion was born of that love. It was born of that commitment, that diversity. 100 years ago in Czechoslovakia, the country's first Unitarian minister, Norbert Kapek, created the flower communion for his congregation. Coming from a myriad of religions, reveling in their newfound religious freedom, the first Unitarian people of Prague still needed a religious ritual to bind them together as a spiritual community. Trying to break clean of more traditional communions that would alienate his congregation, Minister Kapek turned instead to the blossoming countryside and the beauty of nature. He saw it as a reflection of his own people. The flower communion is a ritual that we do to celebrate beauty. With it, we celebrate not just our own unique beauty, but also the beauty of every individual human being, whole and holy as they are. Just as every flower is different shapes, different colors, different perfumed aromas, each one unique and beautiful and valuable in its own right, so too are we. The flower communion, in addition to celebrating beauty, also celebrates the beauty of community. For as lovely as each blooming bud may be on its own, are they not always all the more lovely together as a bouquet, or living still in the garden, or found wild in the meadows, creating canvases of color upon the green of nature? And as humans, are we not the same? Aren't we all the more wondrous for our differences? All of our unique shapes and sizes, our different colors, different genders, different languages, different face, each of it adding a new layer of complexity to our species, to our world, a unique experience and perspective on life, on each other, and on the divine. For me, especially, I love how the flower communion ties into my own personal spiritual path. So I am unapologetically pagan, as many of you know, if not, surprise. But that means that I see the earth as a living being, sentient and divine in her own right, and everything and everyone who lives on her holds a gleaming shard of her holy power. All the gods and goddesses are her children. The mountains are her sons. The trees are her daughters. The meadows, the oceans, the deserts, the lakes, they are all part of her. We are part of her. Part of honoring the earth, for me, involves honoring her natural rhythms. And I do that by celebrating the different seasons as they cycle year after year. And if you maybe paid attention to the calendar last week, you might have noticed that one such occasion happened. Beltane, as I know it, or maybe you know it as May Day. It's a holiday that's fallen sadly out of favor in modern American culture, probably because the agrarian nature of the holiday is simply too far removed from our modern day-to-day lives. Traditionally, it was when farmers led their herds to their summer pastures, and you can only do this once the threat of frost, death by ice, has passed. You can only do this when the fresh green shoots of spring have turned from tiny sprouts on brown dirt into the verdant carpets of grass and clover that will nourish the world. The first early blooms of snowdrops and daffodils have seeded to cascades of bluebonnets and daisies, poppies and roses. Spring has moved beyond its first tentative breaths, and now all of the earth is dripping in the pungent perfume of growing green life. And it is beautiful. Beltane is about fertility and growth, but it's also about the beauty of the world as the season prepares to turn from spring to summer. It's a fire festival at its core, but the fire it celebrates is the fire of life. And that fire ignites all of us, in every lily in the pond, every iris in the garden, every spiky purple thistle blossom stubbornly clinging to my garden with its spikes, refusing to get weeded out. But hey, that stubbornness is why they're the national flower of Scotland. But no matter how annoying you might think a weed to be, they are always all the more beautiful for their ferocious determination to survive. The fire of Beltane, the fire of life, can be seen in every green leaf and every vibrant bloom, in every flamboyant flower racing across the field, trying to kill me with my allergies. But that vibrancy, that diversity of color, that beauty in the world, and that is where I embrace the flower communion as well as Beltane. The flowers in the fields gleam like jewels on their emerald velvet. Should they not also bloom within us? We who are part of the earth, part of that divine beauty. and our brothers and our sisters and our neighbors, both near and far. They share that divinity with us as well. That holiness, our connection to each other through the simple act of living on this beautiful blue jewel drifting in a sea of stars. That deserves to be celebrated with all the vibrancy and ecstasy of spring itself. For life deserves to be loved. Both Beltane and the Flower Communion are celebrations of life. They are revelries of the diversity and beauty of nature and the earth, and they both call us to see that beauty and that vibrancy within ourselves and within each other and within the world around us. And it feels like every time I stand up here in this pulpit, I inevitably ask you to do something. I'm going to do it again. So last month, if you were here for the spring equinox, I asked you to think on what you needed to grow spiritually and what you needed to do to give it all the love and dedication that you could, to water it with devotion day after day that it might grow, that you might grow. And today for the Flower Communion, as we celebrate May Day and the fertile fires of Beltane, I'm asking you to consider those seeds that we planted again. And this time, I want you to add each other to that devotion. I want you to look at all the diverse blooms on the altar in front of you and see them reflected in the hearts and souls of your neighbors. To see the blossom and the bouquet. To see the bud and the garden as a whole. To grow from just me to we. Today, I want you to consider what it is we need to grow together as Unitarian Universalists, as a church, as a country, as a world. I want you to ask yourself what you can do, what we can do to tend the spiritual garden of our lives together. So as you take these flowers in just a moment, these reverent blossoms that have waited all of winter to rise from the earth and push through the greening of spring to bloom before you today, what would you see bloom here? What blessed bud, heavy and sweet with nature's perfume, would you choose to share with us and tend that it might add just that much more brilliance to our spiritual community together? As the earth has risen from the winter cold, we turn now to seek the light and life of the coming summer. As the world rises, so too have the flowers, and so too shall we together. Because you can tend a garden alone, it's true, but the work will always be lighter with more hands, and the best flowers have always been meant to be shared. Let us share now together. Everyone come up, come get a flower. I love the Flower Communion. So we who have found ourselves and then each other, let us rejoice in the community we have built and are building. Let us rejoice in the beauty of the earth and of each other. May the light and life of spring continue to bloom in us all until it bursts with all of the light of summer. And may we continue to love and nourish that light and that love within ourselves and within each other. As we collect ourselves and our blossoms, I want to leave you with the words of the Reverend Dr. Elizabeth Strong. Enter into the communion of flowers with joyful hearts. Enter with reverent thoughts. It has taken long months beneath cold ground for these flowers to prepare for their blooming. It has taken each of us long times of growth through sorrow and joy to prepare for our living now. The blooming season is short. Flowers stay for only a brief time. We are travelers upon the earth, travelers through all to brief lifetimes. Therefore, let our moments be bountiful. Let us rejoice in our unique colors, aromas, and sounds. Let us celebrate together in love, that as we traveled away, we take with us the memory of golden hours together among the flowers. Thank you, and blessed be.
Good morning, y'all. I'm Sherry. And this morning we are going to do the covenant, and I don't have a widening moment, but we'll pick up again next week. But our widening the circle of concern covenant is something that our congregation adopted. I don't have it in front of me, and my brain is fried after the events of the past week. So a couple 3 years ago, when we had been studying the widening the circle of concern academic report about issues dealing with marginalization and racist white supremacy culture within the denomination. Academic report came out. Our congregation started studying it shortly thereafter. I thank you. I do have the text of the thing. It was the history, but thank you for the effort. I appreciate it. Here, you may have that. It was the history that I had written down so that I didn't ramble while telling it, but we adopted this second covenant, and I invite you to join me in the recitation of it now. The words will appear on the screen behind me, and they are printed in the order of service that was handed out earlier. We, the Unitarian Universalist Church of Oak Cliff, commit ourselves to the study and dismantling of racism and oppression within our congregation. We commit our congregation and ourselves to the work of anti-racism and anti-oppression. We commit ourselves to listening, to learning, and to action. When we fail, we commit ourselves to trying again and again. We covenant to begin this work and to continue until all of us can truly say that we are a beloved community of justice, equity, and compassion. Thank you.
The gifts you make to our weekly offering or through your annual pledge represent far more than lines on a spreadsheet. Your contributions are a tangible commitment to the mission and vision of this congregation. The offering is an affirmation, a yes. When we give, we say yes to something we value. With our gifts freely given, may we say yes to the values of our faith. Members, if you're contributing cash towards your pledge, please use the envelope provided in the basket and write your name on it. To text your donation, just dial 214-225-5996. And for more options, see oakcliffuu.org/donate or scan this convenient little QR code that is in your order of service.
From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live. De Dio recibo, a ti te do.
closing words today, Flower Communion Blessing by Thomas Rhodes. Within our hands we hold the resurrection of the world. Transient and imperfect, these blossoms are still gifts of infinite value, like ourselves. Too often we seek permanence and perfection. Resisting change, blind to our shortcomings, we become caught up in the petty issues and routine activities of our daily lives. But may these flowers serve as a reminder as they allow themselves to open to the heavens. For despite their imperfections, they still have integrity. And though they are transient, they contain the seeds of transcendence, like ourselves. Let us then also open ourselves to mystery and wonder, fretting not about small mishaps or even, for now, great misfortune. For the resurrection of the world is at our fingertips. The resurrection lives within us. Let us keep a moment of silent appreciation together.
Today. Appreciate it.
We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
Extinguimos esta llama, pero no la luz de la verdad, el calor de comunidad o el fuego de nuestro compromiso. Estos los llevaremos en el corazón hasta que estemos juntos otra vez.